Hollywood is an industry, and the old showbiz adage says that the show must go on. Yet some actors are irreplaceable. The unfortunate death of principal stars has forever been a fact of life in the world of television. What did evolve over the decades, however, was the manner in which the series dealt with the passing. Sometimes, TV shows simply ignore the missing character, or perhaps that person was explained to have moved away. In some cases, the show just could not go on. Here are 20 lamentable demises that happened during the production of beloved television series and how the studios worked around them. Number 20. Cory Monteith as Finn Glee. It undoubtedly came as a shock to everyone when Cory tragically passed away in 2013, having suffered from substance addiction. With Finn being such a prominent character, the show wrote his death into the plot in what was episode 3 of season 5, titled The Quarterback. The emotional goodbye, which began with New Directions performing Seasons of Love at Finn's funeral, didn't include a cause of death for Finn. Kurt instead said, "Everyone wants to talk about how he died too, but who cares? One moment in his whole life, I care more about how he lived." They filmed the episode just a month after Cory's death, which cast and crew remember being incredibly difficult. Despite the show going on for almost 2 whole seasons more, writer Ryan Murphy believes they probably should have ended it after Cory's passing. Here's what Ryan said: "If I had to do it again, we would have stopped for a very long time and probably not come back." Cory Monteith's untimely death left a void in the hearts of Glee fans and cast members alike. Known for his portrayal of Finn Hudson, Monteith brought depth and authenticity to the character, earning admiration and affection from viewers around the world. His struggles with substance addiction highlighted the harsh realities faced by many individuals. The decision to incorporate Monteith's passing into the storyline was a poignant tribute to both the actor and his character. The episode The Quarterback served as a heartfelt farewell, allowing the cast and crew to grieve together and honor Monteith's memory. Despite the challenges of filming amidst their grief, the cast delivered powerful performances, capturing the emotional weight of the loss. Reflecting on the aftermath of Monteith's death, Ryan Murphy's comments underscore the profound impact it had on the show's trajectory. While Glee continued for 2 more seasons, the absence of Monteith's character was keenly felt, prompting reflection on whether the series should have concluded earlier. Ultimately, Monteith's legacy endures through his memorable portrayal of Finn Hudson and the enduring impact of his talent and spirit. Number 19. John Ritter as Paul Hennessy. 8 Simple Rules. The tragic passing of John Ritter was not only heartbreaking, but also a profound shock to all who knew him. After falling ill on the set of 8 Simple Rules, John was rushed to the hospital where he ultimately passed away. Kaley Cuoco, who portrayed John's daughter on the show, recalled the difficulty of coping with his loss and described the somber atmosphere on set the following day. Everyone was just crying, bawling, and then people started telling stories. As one of the central characters and an irreplaceable presence on the show, Paul Hennessy's death was written into the storyline, resulting in an emotionally charged episode where the family grapples with his sudden absence. Despite the decision to carry on for 1 more season following John's passing, many fans and critics felt that the show lost its essence without the brilliance of John Ritter. The subsequent season lacked the same spark and charm that John brought to the series, leading to the eventual cancellation of the show. Number 18. Richard Harris as Albus Dumbledore, Harry Potter. One of the most notable instances of an actor's passing during a film series occurred with the sad demise of Richard Harris. When Richard tragically passed away in 2002, following his illness after filming The Chamber of Secrets, he had already portrayed Professor Dumbledore in the first 2 Harry Potter movies. With several more books in the immensely popular series awaiting adaptation, the studio faced a significant decision. Ultimately, the decision was made to recast the role of Hogwarts' revered headmaster, and actor Michael Gambon was chosen to take on the iconic character. Alongside this casting change, there was also a shift in director, resulting in a tonal change for the subsequent films. The series took on a darker, more eerie atmosphere, a departure from the lighter tone of the first two movies. Michael Gambon's portrayal of Dumbledore differed significantly from Richard Harris's interpretation. While some fans may argue that Richard's portrayal was closer to the description of the wizard in the books, Michael's performance resonated strongly with an entire generation of viewers. Despite the differences, Michael Gambon's portrayal left an indelible mark on the character and the Harry Potter film series as a whole. Number 17. Paul Ritter as Sam Dorian, Scrubs. John Ritter's talents extended beyond his role in 8 Simple Rules. He had a significant impact on various shows in the television landscape. Prior to his passing, he also portrayed J.D.'s father in the popular medical comedy series Scrubs. Regrettably, John's appearance as Sam only spanned 2 episodes, but his performance was stellar in both instances. The show's creators had intended for Sam to have a more substantial role in the series, with plans for him to become a recurring character. Audiences were eager to witness more of John's comedic genius on display. Despite his limited screen time, John's portrayal of Sam left a lasting impression, with his scenes eliciting laughter from viewers. His unexpected passing posed a challenge for the show's creators, who had to address his character's absence in a meaningful way. In Scrubs, Sam's death served as a catalyst for J.D.'s brother, Dan, to grapple with depression and become confined to his bathtub. The storyline provided a poignant exploration of grief and loss, reflecting the impact of John Ritter's passing on both the fictional world of the show and the real emotions experienced by its cast and crew. Number 16. Carol Ann Susie as Mrs. Wolowitz, The Big Bang Theory. Sitcoms often grapple with incorporating real-life tragedies into their storylines, especially given their rapid production schedules. One such instance occurred in The Big Bang Theory, with the passing of Howard's mother, Mrs. Wolowitz. When actress Carol Ann Susie, who voiced Mrs. Wolowitz, passed away in her sleep, the show's writers were faced with a dilemma. Unlike many cases where the audience has interacted with the character on screen, Mrs. Wolowitz was primarily an off-screen presence, known for her distinctive voice and humorous interactions with Howard. Despite her limited on-screen appearances, the writers chose to integrate Mrs. Wolowitz's death into the narrative. This decision led to an emotional arc for Howard, as he navigated the loss of his mother. One memorable aspect of this storyline was Howard having to consume all of his mother's frozen meals as the freezer defrosted, adding a touch of humor to the poignant storyline. Much like Scrubs, The Big Bang Theory, used the opportunity to explore themes of grief and mourning while honoring the memory of the actress who brought Mrs. Wolowitz to life. Number 15. Oliver Reed as Antonius Proximo, Gladiator. Ridley Scott's acclaimed epic Gladiator faced the challenge of addressing the loss of a cast member before the completion of filming. Oliver Reed, who portrayed the character Proximo, tragically passed away in a pub prior to the conclusion of production. The circumstances surrounding his death added a layer of complexity to the filmmaking process. According to screenwriter David Franzoni, Reed had made a commitment to abstain from drinking while working on the film. However, this promise was not upheld, leading to the unfortunate incident at the bar. Franzoni recounted the events, describing how Reed engaged in a drinking contest with the crew of a British destroyer anchored in the bay. After consuming alcohol, Reed passed out and subsequently passed away. Franzoni humorously noted that he still retained Reed's bar tab as a memento of the incident. Reed's role in Gladiator was pivotal, portraying a seasoned gladiator who mentors Maximus, the film's protagonist. His unexpected passing necessitated significant adjustments to the script. Instead of employing a body double or altering the character's role, the filmmakers opted for a groundbreaking approach. They digitally superimposed Reed's face onto that of an extra and utilized previously filmed footage to seamlessly integrate his character into the remaining scenes. Number 14. Nancy Marchand as Livy Soprano, The Sopranos. After Nancy's death in 2000, following her appearances in 2 seasons of the show, The Sopranos, her absence left a significant void, particularly at a time when the dynamic between Livia and Tony Soprano was a central storyline. Livia, portrayed by Nancy Marchand, depicted a complex and often abusive relationship with her son, Tony. Given the abrupt nature of Marchand's passing and the prominence of her character in the series, the writers faced a dilemma regarding how to address her absence. With no possibility of recasting the role, and with the timing falling between seasons, fans speculated about the fate of Livia Soprano. Ultimately, the decision was made to have Livia's character pass away in her sleep, providing closure to her storyline. However, before reaching this resolution, there was an unconventional attempt to incorporate Marchand's likeness into the series using CGI technology. The intention was to create scenes featuring Livia interacting with Tony, providing a sense of closure to their tumultuous relationship. The CGI implementation, however, fell short of expectations. The resulting imagery was deemed clunky and unconvincing, with the artificial nature of the technology drawing attention away from the narrative. In hindsight, many viewers and critics regarded this decision as unnecessary, detracting from the authenticity of the storytelling. Number 13. Luke Perry as Fred Andrews, Riverdale. When Luke Perry, the beloved star of Riverdale, passed away following a stroke in 2019, the show's creators were determined to honor his memory and his character, Fred Andrews, in a meaningful way. The tribute to Luke and his character was fittingly incorporated into the Season 4 premiere, where the other characters on the show pay their respects to Luke and his role as Fred. Throughout the process, the production team consulted extensively with Luke's family to ensure that the tribute was handled with the utmost respect and sensitivity. Luke's family members were involved in the writing of the episode and were given the opportunity to review the full script before filming commenced. Additionally, the pictures of Fred that Mary, played by Molly Ringwald, looks through in the episode were authentic family photos of Luke that his relatives had provided. In a touching gesture, the tribute episode also featured a guest appearance from Shannon Doherty, a longtime friend of Luke's, fulfilling a wish that Luke had expressed since the show's first season. While undoubtedly a tearjerker, the tribute episode was praised for its sincerity and respectful portrayal of Luke and his character. Despite the loss, Riverdale continued to captivate audiences, with subsequent seasons unfolding new storylines while keeping Luke's memory alive. As the show progresses towards its 6th and final season, fans can expect to see the lasting impact of Luke Perry's contributions to the series. Number 12. Edward Herman as Richard Gilmore, Gilmore Girls. When plans for a revival of Gilmore Girls, titled Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life, were in motion, one of the challenges the creators faced was how to handle the absence of Edward Herman, who portrayed Richard Gilmore following his passing 2 years prior. Richard Gilmore was a central and beloved character in the series, making it essential for the writers to address his absence in the revival. While grappling with the sadness of Edward's death, the consensus was that acknowledging Richard's passing in the storyline was not only necessary but also the right thing to do. The death of Richard Gilmore profoundly impacted the lives of his wife, Emily, and his daughter, Lorelai, as well as his granddaughter, Rory. It served as a pivotal moment that not only left them devastated, but also propelled them into a new chapter of their lives. While mourning the loss of Richard, the characters embarked on a journey of healing, growth, and rediscovery, navigating life without his presence. Number 11. Anton Yelchin as Jim Lake Jr., Troll Hunters, Tales of Arcadia. The tragic accident that claimed Anton Yelchin's life in 2016 sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and left a void in the projects he left behind. Among these was his role in the highly anticipated film Star Trek Beyond, which was released just a month after his untimely passing. However, one of Anton's most significant unfinished projects was his lead role in Guillermo del Toro's animated series Troll Hunters: Tales of Arcadia, where he lent his voice to the character Jim. Anton had already recorded 2 seasons of the show before his death, leaving behind a remarkable legacy in the world of animation. When it came time to produce the 3rd season, the creators faced the difficult decision of recasting the role of Jim. Ultimately, Emil Hirsch was chosen to step into the role previously voiced by Anton. Emil expressed the personal significance of taking over the character, acknowledging his friendship with Anton and the profound impact of his passing. "This is super personal for me. After my friend and fellow actor Anton Yelchin tragically passed away far before his time a couple of years ago, the creators of the Netflix show Troll Hunters approached me about taking over what had been Anton's role of voicing Jim Lake Jr. It was important to them to have someone play Jim who was connected to Anton." Number 10. Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor, Fast and Furious. Paul Walker's untimely death in a tragic car accident occurred during a break in filming for Fast 7, leaving the production team grappling with how to complete the movie without him. In a remarkable display of brotherly love and dedication, Paul's siblings, Caleb and Cody, stepped in to help finish filming, serving as stand-ins for Paul in the remaining scenes. Through the use of advanced CGI technology, Paul's face was seamlessly projected onto their bodies, allowing the film to be completed in a way that honored his memory and legacy. One of the most poignant moments in Fast 7 where this technique was employed is the emotional farewell scene between Paul's character, Brian, and Vin Diesel's character, Toretto. In this scene, Brian and Toretto share a heartfelt goodbye as they drive off down separate roads, symbolizing their paths diverging after years of camaraderie and adventure. The scene serves as a touching tribute to Paul and his enduring impact on the Fast and Furious franchise. Despite Paul's passing, his character Brian continues to live on in the Fast universe, and his presence is felt in subsequent movies through references and mentions by other characters. The filmmakers have ensured that Paul's legacy is honored and respected, keeping his memory alive in the hearts of fans and within the cinematic world he helped to create. Number 9. Marsha Wallace as Edna Krabappel, The Simpson. Marsha Wallace's portrayal of Edna Krabappel, the beloved Springfield elementary school teacher, earned her widespread acclaim, including an Emmy Award for her performance. Edna's character was a fixture in the town of Springfield, endearing herself to audiences with her witty remarks and memorable interactions with the students, particularly Bart Simpson. Tragically, Marsha passed away in 2013, leaving behind a void in both the show and the hearts of fans. The Simpsons paid tribute to her legacy a month later, acknowledging her passing in a touching moment where Bart Simpson wrote, "We'll really miss you, Mrs. K," on the chalkboard, a simple yet poignant gesture that resonated with viewers. Despite Edna Krabappel never having an on-screen death, the show's producers felt it was fitting to honor Marcia's memory 7 years later. Al Jean, the show's executive producer, explained, "She was so beloved by everybody that worked on The Simpsons that we just sort of wanted to give her one last moment on the show in her memory." This tribute allowed fans to say goodbye to both Marcia and her iconic character. In subsequent episodes following Marcia's passing, The Simpsons utilized previously recorded material featuring Edna Krabappel, with permission from her estate. Number 8. Philip Seymour Hoffman as Plutarch Heavensbee, The Hunger Games. Philip Seymour. Hoffman's untimely death, stemming from his struggle with addiction, cast a shadow over the final installments of the Hunger Games saga, impacting the production and the portrayal of his character. At the time of his passing, Hoffman had nearly completed filming for the last 2 movies in the franchise, with only 7 days of shooting remaining. Despite the near completion of his work, His absence reverberated through the production, necessitating adjustments to key scenes. The filmmakers faced the daunting task of reworking certain sequences to accommodate Hoffman's absence. In one instance, lines that were originally intended for Hoffman's character were reassigned to Woody Harrelson's character, Hamish Abernathy, through a letter format. This creative decision aimed to seamlessly integrate the altered dialogue while maintaining the integrity of the narrative. Additionally, the filmmakers had to curtail the screen time allotted to Hoffman's character, Plutarch Heavensbee, due to his premature departure. Director Francis Lawrence expressed regret over this necessity, lamenting that the circumstances led to a smaller role for Hoffman than originally envisioned. Lawrence remarked, "I regret to have that label of it being his last film, because obviously there's not quite enough of him in it. I would have liked his role to be larger." To address the gaps left by Hoffman's absence, the production team employed digital techniques and repurposed unused footage. These measures allowed them to piece together certain scenes and maintain continuity within the film while paying tribute to Hoffman's contributions to the franchise. Number 7. Peter Sellers as Inspector Clouseau, Trail of the Pink Panther. Peter Sellers' comedic genius shone brightly in his portrayal of the bumbling Inspector Clouseau, a character that became iconic in the Pink Panther film series. His comedic timing and slapstick antics endeared him to audiences worldwide, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest comedic actors of all time. At the time of his passing, Sellers had already left an indelible mark on the Pink Panther franchise. Interestingly, even after his death, Sellers would continue to be associated with the Pink Panther series. Trail of the Pink Panther, released in 1982, arrived on the big screen a mere 18 months following Sellers' passing. Despite Sellers' absence, the filmmakers sought to keep his presence alive by incorporating unused clips and outtakes from previous Pink Panther movies. However, the decision to create a film using discarded footage proved controversial and divisive. Trail of the Pink Panther received poor reviews from critics and audiences alike, who felt that the film failed to capture the magic of Sellers' performances. The disappointment extended to Sellers' widow, who expressed her displeasure with the film's production. In response, she initiated legal action against the filmmakers, alleging unauthorized use of Sellers' likeness and performance. The lawsuit ultimately resulted in a settlement, with Sellers' widow being awarded $1 million in damages. Number 6. Marlon Brando as Jor-El, Superman Returns. Marlon Brando's illustrious career included numerous iconic roles, one of which was his portrayal of Superman's father in the 1978 film Superman the Movie. When director Bryan Singer embarked on the production of Superman Returns in 2006, he envisioned the return of Brando's character to the screen, necessitating Brando's involvement. However, the tragic passing of Marlon Brando in 2004 posed a significant challenge for Bryan Singer. With Brando's death precluding the possibility of filming new footage, Singer had to devise a creative solution. Drawing upon various unused snippets of footage featuring Brando from the previous Superman films, Singer and his team embarked on a groundbreaking endeavor to digitally insert Brando into Superman Returns. Through the marvels of modern technology, Brando's likeness was seamlessly integrated into the film, allowing audiences to once again witness his commanding presence as Superman's father. Despite the constraints imposed by Brando's untimely demise, Singer's ingenuity and the use of digital techniques ensured that Brando's character could play a pivotal role in Superman Returns. Number 5. Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Peter Cushing's portrayal of Grand Moff Tarkin in the 1977 film Star Wars Episode I, A New Hope, left an indelible mark on audiences, cementing his character's place in cinematic history. However, it wasn't until the release of Rogue One in 2016 that viewers would see Tarkin on the big screen again. due to the storyline's connection with events from A New Hope. Tragically, Peter Cushing passed away in 1994, leaving a void in the Star Wars universe. Yet 22 years later, his presence would be felt once more in a Star Wars film. To achieve this feat, the filmmakers employed innovative techniques. They utilized actor Guy Henry as a body double for Peter Cushing's character and employed facial movement trackers to animate digital representations of Cushing's face, all with the approval of his estate. However, the use of such posthumous digital recreations sparked ethical debates and raised questions about the boundaries of technology and filmmaking. Critics argued that it bordered on disrespect towards Cushing's memory. In response, the visual effects supervisor, John Knoll, defended the process, asserting that the work was executed with utmost care and respect for Cushing's legacy. He emphasized that the intention was not to dishonor Cushing, but rather to pay tribute to his iconic portrayal of Grand Moff Tarkin. Number 4. Andy Whitfield as Spartacus. Andy Whitfield's portrayal of Spartacus in the Starz series Spartacus, Blood and Sand left an indelible mark on audiences worldwide. However, tragedy struck when Andy was forced to step back from his iconic role after the first season due to his ongoing battle with illness. Sadly, Andy's illness, non-Hodgkin lymphoma, eventually claimed his life. Faced with the challenge of continuing the series without its beloved star, Starz made the difficult decision to recast the role of Spartacus. However, they recognized the importance of obtaining Andy's approval for this decision, considering his pivotal contribution to the show. Chris Albrecht, CEO of Starz, spoke about the decision, emphasizing the need to find an actor capable of leading Spartacus forward while respecting Andy's legacy. He noted, "Since no one can really replace Andy, we realized that we should instead find an actor who can truly lead Spartacus forward. It was important to us to have Andy endorse the idea of recasting this part, which he did in the same heroic manner that he's dealt with his whole ordeal." Ultimately, Liam McIntyre was chosen to take on the role of Spartacus, bringing his own interpretation and energy to the character. Under McIntyre's leadership, Spartacus continued for 2 more seasons, captivating audiences with its epic storytelling and intense action sequences. The series concluded after its 3rd season, leaving behind a legacy of bravery, sacrifice, and the enduring spirit of Spartacus. Number 3. Will Lee as Mr. Hooper, Sesame Street. Will Lee's portrayal of Mr. Hooper on Sesame Street endeared him to generations of viewers since the show's inception in 1969. However, midway through the 14th season, tragedy struck when Will Lee passed away. The writers of Sesame Street faced the delicate task of addressing Mr. Hooper's death on the program itself. They chose to wait until a significant date, Thanksgiving, to broach the subject with viewers. Donna Williams of Public Broadcasting Service, PBS, explained the reasoning behind this decision, stating, "It's a family day. Parents would be there with their kids to answer questions." In a poignant sequence, the show addressed Mr. Hooper's passing, depicting the characters grappling with the concept of death. Big Bird, in particular, was informed about Mr. Hooper's death, leading to a heartfelt exploration of grief and loss. Fran Kaufman, a producer of Sesame Street, emphasized the importance of honesty in dealing with such sensitive topics, stating, "Sesame Street has always been honest and direct, not sugar frosting on real life." Will Lee's legacy as Mr. Hooper lives on in the hearts of fans, and his portrayal continues to be remembered fondly as an integral part of the beloved show's history. Number 2. Christopher Alport as Andrew Campbell, Mad Men. Christopher Alport's portrayal of Andrew Campbell in Mad Men held promise for a recurring role, but tragically, his time on the show was cut short after just 1 episode. In 2008, Christopher's life was cut short due to a skiing accident, leaving the Mad Men team grappling with how to handle his character's storyline. In a poignant decision, the show's writers chose to align Andrew Campbell's fate with Christopher's passing. They crafted a narrative in which Andrew meets his demise during an American Airlines flight. Additionally, the writers revealed that Andrew had recklessly squandered his wife's fortune, adding layers to his character's arc and tying up loose ends. This creative approach allowed the show to pay tribute to Christopher, while also providing closure for his character within the narrative. Despite his brief appearance, Christopher Alport's contribution to Mad Men left a lasting impact, and his portrayal of Andrew Campbell remains a memorable part of the series' legacy. Number 1. Nicholas Colasanto as Coach Ernie Pantuso, Cheer. Nicholas Colasanto's passing marked a significant moment in the history of Cheers, characterized by a gradual decline in his health. Witnessing an actor's health deteriorate slowly can be emotionally taxing, especially when contrasted with the suddenness of a sudden death. None of us wishes to see anyone suffer, particularly actors whom we admire. Throughout the series, Colasanto's heart condition worsened progressively, casting a shadow over his time on the show. As Cheers entered its third season, Colasanto's character was gradually phased out, subtly hinting at the challenges he faced. The irony of the title of his final episode, Cheerio Cheers, is not lost on anyone, adding a bitter-sweet touch to his departure. However, the formal acknowledgement of Colasanto's passing did not occur until the first episode of the subsequent season. In a poignant storyline, his young pen pal from Indiana visited, delivering the sad news that Coach had passed away. Despite the absence of Coach, Woody remained a beloved presence on the series, seamlessly integrating himself into the show's fabric. Colasanto's legacy endures, not only in the episodes of Cheers, but also in the hearts of fans, who fondly recall his portrayal and the lasting impact he made on the cherished sitcom. As we reflect on the lives and legacies of these actors who tragically passed away during the production of their TV shows, it's evident that their contributions to entertainment continue to resonate with audiences worldwide. Which of these actors and their characters do you remember most fondly? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating content. Until next time, stay tuned.